What's up, YouTube? Today, we're doing the Big Pine XC. I'm gonna do like a little voiceover throughout the race. So, coming into the race, I was fourth in points. I was looking to hopefully make up some ground to third in points, and we got off to an okay start here. Ended up, I think, around fifth, to start. I was really hoping to pull like a whole shot or be like up in the front off the start. I just can't. I don't know why, but I just don't have the pedal power that these other guys have. I just can't get the jump. And you'll see this course, I just struggled like the entire race, just barely keeping up with really anybody in my class. I pretty much was in 8th place for the majority of this race. As you guys will see here, I start to kind of fade back and never really make my way back up. But it was weird because I lost a couple positions, but I didn't like lose touch. Like I just like stayed behind them the whole race, just couldn't get by them. Well, not really by them, but find where they were going just ever so slightly faster. So obviously here we were running 5th for the majority, I think, of the first lap. I want to say by the time I come through lap 1, I was in 7th. And then I fall to 8th for the laps 2 through 4. And then the last lap I was able to move to 7th. And I tried to make a move into 6th, like with a couple turns to go, and it just ran out of time. But ended up with 4th in the championship, so I really can't complain being my first year racing mountain bikes. Kind of new to XC anyway, being mainly like a downhill enduro guy before this, so this is still kind of new to me. But the course this week was awesome. Not really my style of course, just because I'm better uphill and I'm better downhill. But as you guys will see in this video, I kind of backtrack a little bit. That's why I was in 8th place for the majority of the race. But really can't complain with a 7th on the day if it's going to be my bad day. So, and still salvaged 4th in the championship. So really can't complain. But overall, so this is the first lap here. This will be the largest clip, and then I kind of section the video out into some smaller bits throughout the race. But the first clip here, basically we're charging through the first lap. We get into like the tight twisty section coming up here, and there ends up being like a pile up and everyone kind of stops. Never had that before in a race, but anything can happen. But as you guys will see here, kind of make a couple turns, and then it kind of comes to a dead stop. So they start the 12-14 boys before us, and it kind of, I don't know, it's probably not the best move because they kind of get in our way pretty quickly, just because they're really not at the level as most of us are at. I also think, being a new series, I think a lot of guys are in the wrong class. So I think it's just going to take some time. I think eventually, like, the novice class will be actual novice riders. I don't think everybody in this class is a novice rider. I think there's a lot of people that are a lot more experienced, I guess you could say, that shouldn't be a novice, but they're stuck in novice because of USA Cycling. Luckily, in my case, I was able to request to get upgraded to expert for next year, so that's awesome. So I'm hyped on that, so I don't have to deal with any of the riffraff in this heat anymore. And I could have gone to the sport class, but really unfortunately it's the same. I mean, you get to start a few rows ahead, but it's the same group of people. You know, you're going to run into the same lappers, the same guys. I just figured may as well go to expert and not really have a lot of people in my way. Probably will be the one in the way, to be honest with you guys. But we'll see, though. It's kind of, it's exciting. I'd rather try to run expert now and attempt to turn pro as sooner I can, but yeah, that's the plan for next season. So, and I'm going to be running the e-bike class as well, so that's going to be a long day next year, racing the series. But yeah, so this lap here, I think I fell back to 6th now. One guy had gotten me, but now we're the majority of the way. We're probably, at that point there, we're probably halfway through the lap. But now we're into the Canada corridor here, and I lose, looks like I've lost 2 more spots since then. So now I'm in 8th. So this part, the guy ahead of me there, he had a little spin out, and I'm new to clip-ins, so I couldn't unclip fast enough, so I just dumped it in the middle of the corridor. That was pretty frustrating. And yeah, in this part, it looks like I made 1 spot back up, which was good, like almost immediately. But that crash definitely set me back a little bit, as you can see. 5th and 6th, they're just a little bit way up the trail there, which doesn't seem like a big gap, but after you fall and then have to climb a hill, it's kind of, definitely sets you back a bit. What I've learned in XC racing is that a little gap is actually a lot. Coming from dirt bikes, like seeing a little gap to someone, it's like, oh, I'm catching him. But on a bicycle, it's like the exact opposite. They could be like, a few steps ahead of you, but doesn't really mean you're catching them. It's kind of weird, but like, it's just how it works out. But now we're into the Dirt Church launch section. This was so fun. There was 2 rollers to that step down. And yeah, that was a really fun section. And honestly, this whole next bit here was a pretty fun spot. There was like a little route right there I was kind of gapping off of, which kind of made it fun every lap. And all the photographers were down in there shooting some good shots. But yeah, like I said, this course was really fun. Like, I would love to have this like in the backyard and just lap it. It's like addicting, but it's just not my style of course. I know they suck, but like Pat's Peak, Powder Ridge, those were like kind of my type of courses, the really hilly downhill park style stuff. I'm just better on the up and downs, the flats. For some reason, I don't have the kind of power the other guys have. But yeah, this section was kind of like the moto track area for the Metra, which I didn't even make the connection until we had gotten there. And I was like, this is the Metro location. Just everything about it screamed Metro once I figured it out. But yeah, we're wrapping up on the first lap here, I believe. I tried to jumble like the end of the laps into the video, just to kind of demonstrate what place I was in and whatnot. But I believe this is lap 1. I'm pretty sure. So this section was a little rough, a little muddy, but nothing too crazy. It was a little rutted out from dirt bikes, but nothing horrible. I'm very interested to see what next year is going to be like for this series. Like, is he going to change locations? Is he going to keep the same courses and all that? So it's very interesting. So yeah, 7th place through lap 1. Toss my glasses there. I like wearing glasses, but at the same time, they always get fogged up and they like fall down a little bit, or like my helmet will fall down and like touch the glasses on my ear. It always annoys me. So I always start with them and end up tossing them. But yeah, as you guys see, another issue with being in the novice class is it's not even the lap traffic, it's just catching up to the other classes. Just having so many classes ahead definitely makes a bit of, I would say, throws a wrench into things. And you got, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other classes, and I'm catching at least a handful from each, if not the majority of them. I think in this entire heat I was 19th overall, and we're the second to last row. So, you know, that goes to show, obviously, catching a lot of the people ahead of me in other classes, which I don't mind. Like, everyone's in their own race, obviously, but once in a while it is a little annoying because obviously you want to make up ground on the guys that are actually in your class, and they can get in your way and whatnot. So here we're coming through the corridor. I didn't even bother going through that middle line, as you see here. This guy right on the blue bike there, he actually had passed me, and I was in 8th, but now I was back in 7th. Me and that guy went back and forth pretty much this whole race. He was like, I don't know what he was doing up this hill, but it was almost like he was on an e-bike, because I would get ahead of him and then he would just blow by me every single time up this hill. And then I could kind of like just hold his wheel for like the entire lap. But as you can see there, he's motoring right up that hill like I'm standing still. But yeah, I kind of would hold his wheel for the majority of the lap, and then we'd hit this Canada corridor, and I just could not catch him. But obviously, you can tell I'm working up this hill. That hill was pretty brutal, but I like the hills. I think it was just honestly the location of the hill in the lap. And we're heading back down towards the turf launch. These rollers are really fun. Into this berm too. And then the actual launch itself was pretty fun, because you kind of just lock off it and it just would send you so far. As you guys can see, I catch back up to this guy again. I would hold his wheel and I just could never find a good spot to get by him. It was really annoying. He was like a one-time no-show. Like, he wasn't even like in the points race, and it's just like, it's just annoying. And obviously it's affecting my points, and he's not even in the points race. So it is what it is, you know. It's racing. I can't really cry about it, but it's just one of those things, you know. So yeah, I think we're coming through. This is lap 2, I think. And 8th. Figured it was close. And really, from like lap 2 to 4, things were pretty quiet. Caught, you know, a couple lappers here and there, a couple guys from other classes, but like very quiet. Like, I would catch up to this guy, but I never really could pass him. Yeah, ready to jump right to the next lap, because really nothing happened on that lap. Like I said, it was just quiet. So we should be coming through lap 3 to go. Still in 8th. kind of just got into like my own little zone. No one was catching me. Couldn't really catch anybody in front of me. Kind of in no man's land at this point in the race. This section was actually a little bit annoying, just with the mud and whatnot. It just kind of rutted up a little bit, so it's like kind of hard to charge through it. So we're kind of to the go.
Yeah, I'm coming. Hey, you.
Get by somebody in sport 40 to 50. I'm not sure exactly which class. This corner was very sketchy. It was like kind of off camber, and there was like roots, kind of uprooted up, kind of high, I guess you could say, and they were snug. They were super exposed. Back to the two-fish launch section. This is what? Is this not free? Because it's been uneventful until the last lap to go, and things start to really heat up, which you guys will see in this. But yeah, see, I'm catching back up to that guy again in 7th. Like, it was just a yo-yo, and I just could not get by him. It was so annoying. No, sorry, this should be the 4th. I'll screw that up. We're on the lap 4. Coming through the moto track again. This place is actually really cool. When I was warming up, I was checking out some of the property and whatnot. And I mean, from the metro, there was trails everywhere, but just a really cool spot. A lot of unique stuff. Like little to no rocks. It was like similar to like Southwick. It was just all kind of loamy dirt. A lot of pines. Obviously, that's why it's probably called the Big Pine XC. And if you guys will see up there, 6th place is actually right there. So things start to get really tight in this last lap here. Like literally like 4 or 5 positions are very close to each other. So here's one to go.
Close to where he grew up, so I think he's pleased to have an awesome race of this caliber out this way. Doing a great job of short lap racing. Followed by a different race category, Bryce Micro.
Finishing up, I think, on the last lap, it was only like a 40-second gap from me to 3rd place. That's how close it was, which is crazy. That, you know, a couple seconds and I could have been 3rd place, but I ended up 7th. So as you see here, I'm closing back up on this guy again. I'm still in 8th currently. But it was just a constant yo-yo with this guy. Try to make a move here, but I just could not get the power. This guy could seriously pedal. It starts to really get tightened up. So in front there is actually 5th and 6th. So we all kind of close up on each other here, which is crazy. 5 laps in and 5th through 8th are right with each other. So right there, I make a move to 7th. 5th and 6th are obviously right there. But yeah, took 5 laps, and we were all still bumper to bumper, which was crazy. And in 4th place, actually, he was only like 20 seconds ahead of me when I finished 7th. So he only could have been like, he was only probably a little bit up. He was like not far ahead of us at all. And then 3rd, he was only like another 20 seconds ahead of him. So it was like a very close fight. Obviously, they weren't in the picture, but they were very close to being in the picture. I think right here I got passed again. Move back to 8th. Coming back up on that twisty, tight single track section. This is where things get insane. We catch up to this guy, I think he's in Sport 40 or Sport 50, one of the two. So he kind of gets into the mix, and it's just like a freaking train we got going on, which is crazy. We're all getting by this guy. But what are the chances that 5, literally, this many guys were still just wheel to wheel? Literally, it could have been anybody's race between this group. Any of us could have gotten 5th. Just the luck of the draw, how it played out. But in this like certain scenario, like I had mentioned earlier, you can see that guy in the middle of us here. Obviously not in our class. Kind of holds us up, unfortunately. I know he's trying to race his own race, but at the same time, it's like we're in a heated 4-way battle here. And this guy keeps, putting up a fight. He probably thinks we're in his class or something. That's the only bummer. Now it opens up the field section. But looking ahead in that field section, I was able to get a glimpse of 4th place. So that's how close he was. Not like, he did not have much of a gap on us at all. Literally a straightaway away. close back up on 7th here. I was going to make a move there, but I wasn't really going to force the issue, so ended up kind of just hanging behind them. It's kind of nice to be behind someone in your class, especially when they're at your level and running your pace. It's kind of nice because you can kind of follow their line and see where they're gaining on you. I feel like that's a key. That way you can kind of manage their speed, and then they really can't, unless they really pick it up, they really can't drop you as far as trying to put a gap on you and finish well. Yeah, 5th and 6th are still right there. We are heading back toward the Canyon corridor. For the last time in this race, last time for the season. I'm kind of sad the season's over. These race days kind of are something that is nice to look forward to on the weekends. We'll be back and ready in spring, that's for sure. Definitely maybe even more excited by the time April rolls around. So luckily here I take my left line again, and it actually worked out. I was able to make the move back to 7th, heading up the corridor. And 5th and 6th are right there. I was hoping to make up a little bit more of a gap here. Didn't quite work out that way. We've gotten to the top of the corridor. Heading down towards the dirt church launch. Got the 2 rollers into the berm. Such a fun little section. In the dirt church launch. Dirt church launch. Kind of fumbled my words there.
Thank you.
So this is the last couple turns here before we pop out onto the moto track again. I really tried to put in a little surge here to try and get to 5th and 6th because they were right there. It was so close. As you can see here, I closed up on 6th. And get up to the moto track here. I try and really put the hammer down. I think, made the wrong move here. I kind of went to the outside of him to try and make a move, but kind of all he had to do was just pinch me off. I should have went inside. There was a bit more room. I think I could have probably snuck him by, especially with this lapper here. I think it kind of distracted him, but if I went towards the inside, I think I might have had him. He pinched me off there, and pretty much single tracked the rest of the way through, so I kind of was held out for 7th.